report, the Bureau of Commissioner General of Rehabilitation has been given certain tasks to fulfill in order to ensure the reconciliation process, and by now we have been able to complete 90% of the recommendations made by the LLRC Commission, and we have made arrangements to fulfill the balance 10% also in the near future. In the LLRC report, we have been tasked to complete the rehabilitation of ex-child combatants as a matter of priority. Accordingly, we have rehabilitated and reintegrated all child combatants by 2010. By the end of 2010, we have been able to reintegrate all ex-child combatants to the society. I am happy to say some of the ex-child combatants are now in universities, and some have passed out as even doctors. So, as far as the child combatants are concerned, we have fulfilled that recommendation 100%. Then there is another recommendation to expedite the legal process of the rehabilitees and the detainees who have been taken into custody based on the Terrorist Prevention Act. So government has made arrangements to expedite their legal formalities, and accordingly during the last 2 months we received about 300 ex-combatants for rehabilitation on the court order. So that aspect also we have fulfilled to a great extent. There are certain things that we have implemented which were not in the LLRC report. Some, for example, now there, as per the existing rules in the country, the Minister of Social Services pay a monthly allowance to all disabled people in Sri Lanka. So we have made arrangements to get that monthly allowance for the ex-combatants who are disabled. And there is another arrangement by the Ministry of Social Services to provide artificial limbs to the disabled people, ordinary citizens in the country. So we have made a request to get the same benefit to the ex-combatants who are disabled. So that will also be arranged in the near future. There is another arrangement again by the Ministry of Social Services to provide houses to disabled people who do not own a house on their own. So we have made a request to the Ministry of Social Services to consider this ex-combatant also to provide a house for those who do not have houses. On the completion of the humanitarian operations in May 2009, government announced to surrender the ex-combatants to the army. Accordingly, 594 ex-child combatants surrendered. Out of these 594, 364 were males and 230 were females. So all these ex-child combatants were given the opportunity to attend to their studies, and during the whole rehabilitation period they were mainly given the opportunity to attend to their studies, and some after rehabilitation process, after releasing them back to after handing them over back to their parents, some are still continuing in the same place depending on their interest. Once the rehabilitees are released back to the society, we are having a mechanism to monitor their livelihood, mainly their livelihood, and to ensure that they live a peaceful, decent life. For that purpose, we have got officers in the north and east GA of Government Agent Office. We have established one of our officers that is known as the Socio Economic Reintegration and Welfare Coordination Office. We have got an officer in each office and a staff. They coordinate all matters pertaining to these rehabilitees who have been released after rehabilitation.